Good morning, traders. Welcome to this video on the euro dollar and pound dollar. My name is Chris from Elite Currency, and we're going to take a look first of all at this euro dollar. Of course, this is the first week of November. We have now October behind us, so we have new monthly candles to look at. Second of all, and very importantly, there are of course US presidential elections, so that could cause price to go maybe slower before and during the election day, but maybe some volatility will pick up and gaps or thin liquidity, and a lot of that is possible, of course, as the results trickle in and we see more info about that. And of course, in the aftermath as well, depending on how things go. So that's a little bit tricky for this week. I really don't want to spend too much time on the fundamentals, to be honest, but of course, this is a major one that could certainly impact price. I rather still to take a look at technicals in this video. I mean, from a technical point of view, last month was bearish. That's two bearish months in a row, with the high clearly below the low of October. So sorry, the October low. The October high below the September high. Excuse me. And now we're challenging the lows of the last 2 months. I think that last week was very clearly bearish, so it is looking like an ABC pattern from this point of view. ABC going down like this. I think there's some downside to 115 possible, to the long-term moving average support zone here around 115, maybe a little bit lower. Daily chart, we can see a break below the 21 EMA zone. So I think that this is looking like an ABC, as we said, ABC, and we're looking at a 1, 2, 3. So I think that if this is a wave 3, that wave 3 could be ongoing, could push a little bit lower, but eventually we see a wave 4 and then a wave 5. Let's take a look at that on the 4-hour chart. And we can see that this looks like an ongoing wave 3. If we get any type of pullback here, I think it would be interesting to look for bearish bounce and continuation at the 21 EMA zone. Around 117, we have broken bottoms and previous tops in the 21 EMA zone, the WIS 5 level. I think that will be a holding spot for price to move lower. If it is a wave 3 of this degree, it is also a 38.2 fib, 23.6 fib, 116.75, 117 will be the zone to look at. If it's a wave 3 of this degree, it's a little bit higher, but roughly the same. If it is a 1, 2, 3 wave 4, then it should not go back into the territory of wave 1, which is here or here. So if price crosses above that resistance, then that would invalidate this bearish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern that I have in mind. But waves 4 could be choppy, so it could be quite lengthy correction, some kind of bear flag. And if that happens and price breaks through that bear flag, it's set up for a continuation lower, in my view, towards 115.50 for the moment, then 115, 114.75. But yeah, this looks a little bit overextended. We're at WIS 6. We're at the very long-term moving average. Price has moved away from the 21 EMA. It might be a moment where we get some retracement. It doesn't have to be. It could push a little bit lower. It's not a point that I would want to trade it to the downside right here, because I think it's a bit overextended. The reversal idea, I think, is possible, but it seems a bit risky unless we get some kind of clear price action candlestick pattern here. But then the upside target seems very, very limited to me because of the expected pattern that is choppy. I just don't see much space to the upside. That would be, if we get even up to the 50 fib in the long-term moving average, I would still consider bearish. Only a break above that would start to seriously change my perspective on the euro dollar. And that could happen. I'm open to that. If there's a strong momentum as well, for instance, like that certainly would change perspectives, of course. That could happen in a week like this with big fundamentals. Those things you got to be on guard for, but it's not what I'm expecting. If it does happen, then certainly would change perspectives. But I think that for the moment, this looks more like a break pullback continuation for downside. Before we take a look at the pound, small reminder about our website, elitecurrency.com. You can find a lot of services in Forex and CFD, but also options, by the way. If you want to try a different style of trading, check out options with our expert Marco Doni. We got a lot of tools and strategies, a lot of free ones as well. Blog with daily analysis, education, webinars, and of course, some sponsorships, all of that. Got a lot of info here for you, so check it out and see what is good for you. All right, so pound USD Same thing, kind of breaking below that 21 EMA. Let's start all the way from the monthly. Doji on the monthly, weekly. Bearish candle last week. Break below the 20 EMA on this daily chart, where we had some kind of break below the trend line as well, as you can see. So this is looking like a channel that's broken with momentum prior to that channel to the downside. So this could resume the downtrend, and we have actually quite an established downtrend already with lower lows and lower highs. This is a tricky spot. You know, it's trying to push lower. There is some support coming in, as you can see on the hourly chart. I think that I'm inclined to also see this, I mean, to look for bearish opportunities. I don't think that right now is maybe that good of a moment. Kind of at the bottom of the channel. I would wait for I would prefer a bear flag, to be honest, like that. Going back to 129.25 around this point, which is, yeah, somewhere tomorrow, and look for a bounce for continuation lower. Now, same with the euro dollar, of course. The pound dollar could also be choppy. Same kind of effect the elections could have on this, because the dollar is in it, obviously. So, you know, but yeah, I think that generally speaking, if it gets back to the top of the channel, still looking good for downside. It would really only change if I see a break above the equilibrium zone, which is at this moment here. As you can see, support, resistance, and the long-term moving averages plus those trend lines. That's around 129.50 and 130. Only a break with momentum above that would change the perspectives, and price would go back into that old uptrend channel. As you can see, that space right there. You see that? But otherwise, if it's retested and bounces, it's just probably a pullback within that downtrend. Okay, so that's an important bull bear line right there. If it gets that far, if it's a bull flag, it's a bear flag, I would expect it to fall further down to, well, I think the next target probably 127.50 there. It's the with 7 and the psychological round level. All right, we'll have a new update on Wednesday. Be careful. It's going to be, it could be, you know, there's a high chance that it could be a bit of a wacky week. That's a pity, but those things happen. So trade safe, and wish you all good trading in general and a great week. Cheers.